Good morning, everyone! I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday morning today. And for today, let's make a bowl out of this chunk of wood. This is probably the weirdest wood I ever work with. Unlike other wood that gives you wood shavings, this one would create sawdust on impact. And before you say anything, my chisels were sharp. I sharpen them every single time I'm turning a new piece, so yeah, it's not a piece. It's just this wood felt really sick and weird. I don't know why. I don't even know what kind of wood it was, to be honest, so if you have any ideas, please do let me know. Anyways, after I get rid most of the dirt stuck to the outer end of it, I decide to make a mortise. Before we go any farther, yes, I am an idiot. Do not do this. You do not need to make a mortise. Tenon will suffice. But here you go. Me being too lazy to screw the piece on myself and hoping that the lathe rotating at 500 RPM will do it for me. I try to attach the piece. First mistake. Thank you, YouTube, for terrible ideas you have. If you are watching this, do not do this. After installing, I ended up trying to smooth out the bottom and making a mortise, so that I can put it on a chuck. And yes, again, the correct technique would have been to make a tenon so Chuck would grab it properly. I was too stupid to think of it and ended up paying for it later. So I mounted it on the chuck and proceeded to rough out general shape and how I wanted my bowl to look like. My original intent was to have it look like it was made out of clay. So when the piece started wobbling, that's actually just what I needed. That was the good part. And this is where payback comes. My poor bowl had to be flown out of the lathe multiple times. At one point, I got so frustrated, I just decided to bore holes in it. Eventually, even my GoPro gave up on me and stopped recording. This poor bowl must have flown out of the chuck about 6 or so times while I was trying to hollow it out. I'm an idiot. But once the general shape was made, I was back into normalcy, more or less, and I just started sanding it into a nice, smooth shape. All the while, I was trying to keep in mind that my main purpose for this piece was to have an even bowl that had a clay-like appearance, almost like it was made out of clay. Unlike my usual work, however, I sanded this down to only 360 grit. Mainly because the wood just felt weird. It was very sick feeling, and it's hard to explain. Even while oiling it, it almost felt like the oil was passing right through it instead of drinking it. It felt dead, very dead. So it's like almost if it had no density at all. I really don't know what's up with this piece of wood. Anyway, after the wood was almost ready, I decided to trim the bottom of it a little bit. Which again is a horrible idea. I really made lots of mistakes in this video. It is absolutely horrible. I'm really lucky to have all my fingers. Please do not do this. Once I trimmed enough, I moved on to my belt sander to sand the rest of the bottom away and make it smooth and even. And then I proceeded to sand it even farther by hand until I hit 320 grit and also to make the edges a little bit round. Then I oiled the whole thing and voila! My second bowl is ready. The whole bowl was just one gigantic disaster, and I will never ever repeat mistakes made in this video. Please don't learn from this. Hopefully, though, you guys learn from this video what not to do. And if you liked it, please consider subscribing or giving me a like. I promise I'll be better in the future, and I will see you next week. Bye bye!